Hey everyone, and welcome to Comics from the Multiverse, the DC Comics podcast from Mailfuzz TV. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Matt.
Hey, what's up?
And Connor's here as well.
Yes, I am.
I like the way I phrase it. I've realised what I'm doing now in my head. Matt's the series regular, and then Connor's the guest star. And even though he's here every week, he's still just always labelled as the guest star.
He's the with on the old sitcom. You know, like
it's kind of like in the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Tara was not a regular for a very long time, and she wasn't in the credits, even though she was always there. It was like, why is she not in the credits?
This is the thing. Tara was one of the best, so I'll take that as I will.
Also in the spin-off, Angel Lorne was another example where he was there for like 3 seasons before they added him to the credits. It was really weird.
What?
Yeah.
But hey,
what Connor said about the girl from Buffy. That's how I feel about Lauren. There's a cool green dude that liked to sing lounge songs. Made no sense, but I loved it.
Lauren was great. I love Lauren.
Definitely.
But hey, this is episode 99 of this show, by the way. Where we're right at the cusp. I almost like 99 as much as 100 because it's just got that nice... Like, this is the last double-digit episode.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Very exciting.
Rubbing his grimy mitts together like a mad genius.
So of course next week we do have the Action Comics 1000 special, and it's showing that'll be earlier in the week, and then our special episode 100 and the usual time day, give or take. So that's what's happening next week. But what are we talking about this week? It's actually an oddly quiet week. I only had 7 books, which for recent times just feels a bit late.
It's great. I love it.
Well, you're not going to love it next week, man. Next week's huge.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. But
I'm a little concerned that they could have just offset it a bit nicer, because I'm like I've got like nothing this week, and then
it's especially
I look at next week and go, oh boy.
It's especially because they've moved Mr. Miracle from this week to next week. That would have really helped to have that forward this week. But hey,
fun story. I still have last issue of that to read because I missed that episode, so I need to do that really soon because I'm not leaving that till the books all come out next week.
Yeah, you have to do that before Wednesday. That is a very smart plan. Anyway, what are we talking?
It's a busy week, but I'm looking at it, and it's not, it's doable considering we're doing action early. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. It's not like there's loads of books, but they're all quite big, meaty books.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming next week. But what's this week? What we're actually talking about today? We're talking about Detective Comics 978, Wonder Woman 44, The Flash 44, Supergirl 20, which is the final issue of that, New Superman, The Justice League of China, number 22, Hal Jordan, The Green Lantern Corps 42, Sideways number 3, The Immortal Men number 1, which is the latest in the new age of DC Heroes, initiative line, malarkey, whatever you want to call it. And then Connor, given that it was a quieter week for him, decided that he would choose this month to do his allotment of Red Hood and the Outlaws for Connor's Corner, which of course one of our dear patrons pays for the privilege of making him read this.
Every time it gets brought up, I always want to just do the tune of "Let the punishment fit the crime." And then his only crime is being ginger.
I'm not gonna lie, I do hate it a little bit more every month. It adds on. It's not just like I hate it an equal amount. It's like, again.
It's
so it's just that bit worse every time.
Well, that's the thing. Do you know, it's funny, because throughout this week I was thinking, you know what, DC, this would be a great week to drop some big news on us, because it is a lighter week books-wise, and they didn't quite do that. There's a few little news things that I'm going to mention, but not the big chunky news that we've been having for the last month and a half, where they had like a big new line every week. Ink and Zoom.
Yeah, no. Now they decide to be quiet.
But hey, so we do have a little bit of news before we actually get to the books, though. Speaking of Mr. Miracle getting pushed, issue 9, which is supposed to come out in May, has now been pushed to June. Oddly though, this is not that big a deal because June was a skip month, so basically all that's really happened is the skip month is moved to May.
Comes earlier.
Yeah, so it's also coming out on June 6th, so it's coming out on week 1 that month, bizarrely.
Okay. I can't picture that lineup in June, because obviously the week 1 will all shifted around a bit by then.
Yeah, everything changed a little bit. So, not a huge deal, but worth mentioning. Another thing coming out this week, the solicits are coming next week, so we've been getting some of those early solicits they sometimes put out the week building up to it. One thing that was notable is the Titans roster has been confirmed. And we knew about Nightwing, we knew about Raven, we knew about Beast Boy, we knew about Miss Martian. I don't think we knew about Donna Troy. I think that's something new.
Yeah, I don't recall hearing about it.
Yeah, and the other thing we'd heard was Steel, and that really confused us. However, it makes way more sense now, because when they said Steel, it's actually Natasha that's Steel, not John Henry, and that makes way more sense to be on the Titans team. And it's cool, actually. I like Natasha a lot, so it's good news. So that's the Titans lineup, starting with issue. I mean, the special's in June, but this will be July's issue 24, something like that. I don't know, whatever the number is. We got a solicit for a one-shot that's coming in July. It's a prestige book. It's a $10 80-page book that's full of lots of short stories. It is called DC Beach Blanket Bad Guys Special Number 1, with stories by Paul Dini, Liba Hermo, Gabriel Hardman, Karina Bechko, Tim Seeley, Shia Fontana, and more. And it's all villain-focused stories, and presumably all summer-focused as well.
Yeah, at the beach, I think.
Yeah. I think Tim Seeley said on Twitter he's got the Grodd story. He's done a Grodd story, so...
Should be fun.
It should be.
Dini's probably doing a Harley Quinn one.
I mean, that's his thing. That's what he usually does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, that's the thing that's happening.
I love the title of it.
Yeah, it sounds stupid and fun.
It sounds stupid and fun. I'm not going to commit to say that I'll definitely read this. I want to see what that week looks like before I commit to an 80-page book full of random bad guy short stories. But, yeah, so that's the thing that's happening. One thing that we kind of mentioned briefly last week in the midst of the Catwoman news is when they revealed the new Catwoman book, which we talked about last week, at the end of the show, though. If you missed that, that was at the end after the outro, because we got that. That happened while we're recording.
Yeah.
But Connor Spursy mentioned this. I don't remember him mentioning it, but I want to bring it up because we didn't really talk about it. Is that at this C2E2 panel, they actually mentioned that Jeff Johns has already written a story about the three Jokers and that Jason Fabok is actually drawing them. So there is some sort of mini-series about that's already been written.
No, I read that, but I don't remember talking about it.
Yeah. We didn't talk about it on the show. I mentioned it when I was scrolling through the things that were just coming out when I was checking. I kind of threw it out there, and then I don't know. We didn't have the full details at that point, though.
Allegedly. So here we are now. So not a lot of details, but I mean the fact that it's a Johns book of some kind. Fabok's doing the art. I mean, so it's a thing of some kind. Like, I have to imagine it's at least like a, I don't know, 5-6 issue mini. Maybe?
Probably.
Yeah. They work well together. I'm excited.
I'm down. I'm not super excited for the three Joker story in general, but John's a Fabok. I'll read it.
I will tell you, it's got to be better than what was teased out at the end of the Dark Side War. So.
What are you talking about, Matt?
Oh. I'm not saying it. Yeah, hit the button.
Yeah. Talk about Jason, your favorite character.
No, Three Jokers came out of what? That was Dark Side War 2, right?
Yeah, that's what was first mentioned with the Metron chair.
Yeah, because when Bruce asked who is the Joker, and he said no, it can't be, and that's what we found out. There's been 3.
Yeah, because the chair responded with which one.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, I don't know if I'm super excited about Three Jokers in and of itself, but I am very curious to see how that's going to be wrapped up.
Anytime Johns touches continuity, I am game.
That's it. I think I'd be more cautious if someone else is writing it, but it's John, so he gets the trust, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't done a whole lot of Joker stuff, though, when I'm thinking about it.
No, but he hasn't done a whole lot of bad stuff either.
So that's fair. That's fair.
With Fabok, he was at the Comic-Con I went to last year here, and me and my friend were talking to him about the hockey opening of the button and how great that was, and he had said that was a second idea because the way that he had done the opening the first time, somebody told him to hold off and they're going to use it for something else. So I keep waiting when his name comes up to see if this is what
could be.
I don't know if it's going to be this because I don't see how, unless like the button opened with the tease of the three Joker. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to see where I could fit in that same kind of tone.
I think it could be in there. I'm not sure where else it could be.
Either that or somewhere later in Doomsday Clock. I mean, that's basically
it'd be weird for him to just pop into Doomsday Clock in that sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Did he
I don't
specify
know.
it was a Joker thing though?
No. All he said was
Yeah.
that there was a different opening that he had drawn, and then he didn't say who, but somebody liked that opening so much they decided to use it somewhere else. So then they redid the opening, and that's how he got the hockey with
Hmm.
Saturn Girl going. It's too late. It's too late.
So yeah, if if,
So
if
they're
if it was still related to Saturn Girl, say it could still be something that pops up
right.
in Doomsday Clock potentially,
But I'm
or
also trying to think what of it fell out because it was his art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is that I
Yeah.
can't see them putting anyone but Frank in Doomsday Clock at this point.
oh sure,
So
yeah.
unless they get Frank to redo Fabok's
Yeah,
piece,
hey,
all
and
right, we
that's-
want to use that.
Well,
And
I
who
never knew.
knows?
I never
He
knew it was
could've-
specifically art was done for it though. I thought it was just he liked the idea and he was taking it for
That
something
could have been.
else.
He wouldn't spell much beyond that. He knows what
Yeah.
he's doing. Like, let's froth up the fans.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
super nice guy though. Like it was. My friend, who's a major hockey nerd, was like, "If you ever want to do a hockey book, like I would buy it for sure." And he goes, "Well, that's one of you." So it was.
You should just go and read some Jeff Lemire's indie stuff.
Yeah.
So much hockey.
Yeah. There you
It's almost
Yeah.
like Jeff Lemire's Canadian or something.
go. From a small town.
And,
So worth mentioning that the early solicits for Superman #1 in Action 1001 came out. Not much to say, although it did mention in the Superman solicit that Superman has to save the planet from the Phantom Zone. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how we end up in that situation. But there you go. That's kind of that. I did actually have a few other tidbits that I kind of stumbled across myself. Scott Snyder was on the Comics Conspiracy podcast, an inferior podcast, might I add to us, just for the record. I jest, but he was on that, and it was basically a 2.5 hour interview with Scott Snyder, and he was, you know what Snyder's like. Once he starts talking, he starts dropping
Yeah. Hints.
things
He can't help himself.
left and right, and he dropped a lot of juicy little tidbits, like so much that I noted them down. And then like, okay,
Oh, here we go.
I think these are worth mentioning. So he mentioned that he had 32 issues of Justice League planned,
Yes.
so that's about a year and a half. That it will probably spin out into an event at the end. He mentioned that the second arc was liked by DC so much that they're going to probably tie other things into it. Whether that means separate tie-ins or just a couple other books to tie into whatever they're doing.
Okay.
He mentioned that every 4th or 5th issue of Justice League will be a Legion of Doom issue.
Hmm.
Presumably that'll work kind of like the Wonder Woman stuff, where it'll be a different artist to give the other artists
Right.
an issue off. Keep that all on schedule. So that's pretty cool. What else did he mention? That was the main stuff. I think he mentioned there was plans for the Batman Who Laughs for Halloween sometime next year.
Yeah.
But no, it was.
that makes sense. I'm figuring, he's just going to pop up every so often now.
Yeah, but he's a giddy skilled kid when he starts talking about what's coming
That's
up.
good. I like that he's so excited. He's not jaded whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because his appearance at WonderCon and the looks that Didio were giving him are still like my favorite thing of this year. But it's not like he was going out there just to mess with Dan. It was he got so excited that he's just going to tell you.
So much so he basically spoiled something in Metal, but during
time.
that panel, yeah. And then we
Yeah.
got to issue 6. It was like, oh hey, we basically knew what that was because he said that at the event. Right before the final issue came out. But hey, so that was all the news, little tidbits. That said, we do have sales numbers for.
I
for
saw
March.
just another couple of little bits.
Oh, go
I think, I thought were interesting. So Brian Cunningham, the group editor, he does all the Justice League family, Doomsday Clock.
Oh.
There was, I don't know if you saw, there was a New York Times article this week titled "Can This Man Save Superman?" Obviously talking about Bendis coming on.
I saw it on Twitter. I took
very
umbrage.
facetious title.
Yes, I took umbrage with that phrasing.
That's someone that doesn't know comics.
That Superman's been pretty good for a while.
Yeah, that's someone who thinks that Superman's outdated and that no one can ever
Yep.
make a good Superman. That's what that sounds like.
Right, and
That's someone
so
who might like Man of Steel.
yeah, and obviously Cunningham has edited a bunch of Superman stuff. So he kind of jumped in and said, "Hey, Superman doesn't really need saving, but yeah, these are pretty good stories." And someone, questioned was like, "Hey, I just want some news about, Supergirl series. What's going to happen with that?" And he says, "She appears in Man of Steel, and you can expect a profound experience for her." And the guys say, "I just don't want it to be just a supporting character, a prop in Superman's story." And he says, I'd argue a supporting character should never be a prop, but regardless where Kara is going, be careful what you wish for. So, some interesting teases there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And yeah, just some, maybe, okay, this might be where we're going. And then just the other little thing I saw is, obviously last week we mentioned that they're planning to do more of the Murphy White Knight universe.
Yeah.
And he put out a little list on Twitter, like some rules that he can promise that will happen in that universe. It's like, I think of those are when someone dies, they will always stay dead. Every book will always come out on time. No exceptions. There won't be any narration balloons unless it's a voiceover in a flashback. There'll only ever be.
That's a weird rule, that one.
Yeah, it is.
I like that though because that's part of his style. That's how you'll know it's a Murphy.
Oh sure, it feels weird to actually announce that as a rule. I look down on comics that have narration boxes. I'm not using them.
I don't see it like that. I just see that as personally, if I wrote comics, I wouldn't use thought balloons. I don't like thought balloons, so I'd rather have narration boxes.
No, that's fair.
But
there was no excessive variants. He'll do one and then his main cover and one variant, and that'll be it because he doesn't want to burden the comic shops into over ordering because they have to do.
Where was he 5 years ago?
I know. He promises there will be at least one awesome vehicle in every book.
That's his thing. That's what he likes. For the longest time on my Twitter background, I had he had done a commission of Back to the Future, and it's Marty jumping into the DeLorean, and the DeLorean's never looked better.
Nice.
So that's Murphy's thing.
And his last one is he promised there will not be any complicated tie-ins to other series. It'll always just be easy to get into, stand on its own. Anyone can pick it up, no matter which book in the series it is. So
the most fun with Batman I've had. I like King's Run, but that's just solid, great storytelling versus, the Murphy stuff is just pure fun, popcorny. Yeah. So
I saw there were some interesting little things that he's saying. It gives you a bit into his mindset of how he's doing about it.
Good.
Funny story, just off topic, I saw an article about Gotham earlier, and I had to read it out of morbid curiosity. And holy shit, what has happened on that show?
I don't know. I see things pop up across my feed because I have friends that think it's good, and I mean.
Some slight spoilers because I just need to say how this just to get I need to see your reaction.
Spoilers for the current season of Gotham. I
need to see your reaction. So, do you remember a couple of years ago how they were introducing the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently, the crazy kid. They actually kind of went through that. They never called him the Joker, but he was doing all the Joker-y acts. Mm-hmm. And he died, came back, and carried on being the Joker. That's already happened, and now. He's died again, and his twin brother is the new Joker. Because he Jokerized him with some gas. I'm like,
I stopped watching the show 4 episodes in. I was like, this is not for me. That's fine. And then I heard it got progressively worse. And it's a shame because I love Donald Logue. I don't even know if he's on there anymore. But
I assume so, but I don't know. He was the best part of that show.
He's perfect for Harvey Bullock. If they could get him in the new movie, the Matthew Reeves one, that'd be great.
It was fantastic casting. But I just saw this. I was like, what the hell is this show?
I don't know.
Anytime you gotta kill a twin brother to make a new Joker, you've run out of ideas.
They've went through every villain as well. They've even done the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
They've went through every villain possible.
Well, it's kind of he gets to the point, it's what's Batman going to do that Gordon's doing all this stuff?
At one point in this show, they basically said, hey, our 12-year-old Poison Ivy, we want a sexy one, so let's just age her up between seasons. Or whatever they did. I don't know. All of a sudden, they had a 20-year-old playing Poison Ivy.
Yeah. I can't believe, though, that they killed the Joker, brought him back to kill him again to make his twin brother the Joker. What?
Good Lord. I still like the idea of that show of Gordon in the police station before Batman. I like that premise for a gritty crime show. But then what they've done is just like you guys are just saying,
I still think it should be set during.
Anything.
I still think it should be set during Batman. Go Gotham Central because they know they want to use all the villains, and if it's during Batman, then it's fine that all the villains are running around.
Yeah, Gotham Central show would be great.
Because I don't like this bullshit. We're going to cycle through every single thing that's ever been in the Bat mythos.
And it was sold as Batman without Batman, and then they proceed to put young Bruce in every freaking episode.
Well, let's not forget his gimp suit.
That's gimp suit. Sure, I didn't know about that until just now. So, yeah.
Oh, did you not see that?
Oh no. God, you're lucky, Matt. No, it's just the same. It's just the same bullshit as Smallville. Just going through every single thing.
Honestly, I think this is arguably worse because at least that still had Clark Kent dealing with it. Like, he may not have been Superman, but it was still Clark Kent. Whereas this here is okay. Bruce is kind of there, but it's the police doing everything before Batman is a thing. And the thing is with Batman is there's the relationship of did he cause his villains to exist, right? You know, are they a response to him? Whereas you don't really have that with Superman. No. So this is much worse to me.
They're both garbage.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not defending Smallville. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
this
but
is
again,
worse.
Sometimes you can recycle garbage and it's fine. Other times it just goes straight to the landfill. So, Gotham belongs in the landfill.
Yes, it does.
Oh dear. Anyway, I get sales figures for March.
Yeah, I was just trying to delay the sales figures because numbers put me to sleep. But
well, you're going to be doing some guessing, Matt. So you're participating, audience participation or other host participation, I guess in this case. But either way, go on. What was number one in March?
There was no Doomsday Clock in March, was there?
Yes, there was. Is there one this month?
I forgot what month we were in, to be honest. I thought we were in May already. I don't know.
You're planning on being here for the fourth week this month, therefore there is no Doomsday Clock. Means there was one last month.
Alright, so that was number one.
No, it wasn't.
Really?
Metal.
Metal was number one. Metal number 6. With 187,000. Doomsday Clock was number 2 with 149,000.
Yeah, fair enough.
Both
I think people are starting to fall off of Doomsday Clock just because of the
schedule.
They'll go back and pick it up, but I don't think they're rushing out. And then Metal was the
the last one.
Chapter. Yeah.
Is that much of a fall off for Doomsday Clock? No, I don't think it is.
Well, just not to be number one.
I think it might be more. It's just a case of Metal going up.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fall off for Doomsday Clock as it's just Metal.
I don't know without seeing the last.
I think Metal had a lot of variance, so I think it's less to do with Doomsday Clock falling from issue 3 and more to do with Metal just going up for its final issue.
I'll see if I can see the numbers for the last issue of Doomsday Clock. If somewhere will give me a nice list. It's harder to find them going back.
This is riveting stuff.
Yeah, see.
Well, you can carry on guessing and doing the other stuff while I look at this.
No, you're trying to get out of guessing.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm on to you.
Stop giving it away.
God.
It's down a little bit. It was 157,000 last time.
Yeah, that's not that prominent, no. That's pretty normal.
It's down just under 10,000.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. I don't think that's a notable decline. Books always go down as they go on.
Yeah, that's fair. And then Metal at number 5, issue 5 was 149,000. So
yeah, that's
just gone up.
Yeah, so that Doomsday Clock would have still beaten that had it maintained the same number.
Yes, it would.
Matt, give me another guess. What else do you think's in the top 10 from DC?
Batman. It's always Batman.
Batman 42 is at number 5. Batman 43 is at number 8.
Batman White Knight.
With 93 and 91,000 respectively. White Knight did just scrape in. That's number 10 with 75,000. And that's it for DC, in fact. Number
Action 999.
What, do you want to know what that is?
Yeah, that was top 10.
No, not even close, I don't think.
Okay. I just wanted to yell 999.
Well, 1,000 will be, so don't worry.
Action Comics.
I wasn't sure. I've come to terms with being the only person reading Superman. It's fine.
Action Comics 999 is at number 19 with 51,000.
Filthy casuals.
Look, I enjoy Action Comics, but it ain't some of the top
must
tier
read,
DC
yeah.
books.
Well, like you said though, you like 99, right? Because it's the last double digit before the triple. Well, this is the last triple digit before the quadruple.
No,
So-
that's fair, and there's a lot more triple digits than there are double digits.
Yeah,
I don't
so there
think
you go.
that's something that the most buyers, take into account themselves.
Maybe they should.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't think everyone else. 999. I need to get that issue. That's a prominent one.
Yeah.
Calm Before the Storm. Yes, the rest of the top 10. Number 4 is Weapon H. Number 1. Ugh.
What the hell's
I
that?
don't even know what that is.
Oh, that's that Hulk Wolverine BS over there.
Yeah, it's a Hulk with Wolverine claws.
Do you know what?
Good
It's
Lord.
this isn't the top 10. I literally didn't know what this was.
Give him a cybernetic arm and pouches, and he's the 90s in one image.
Yeah. that had 98,000. Number 6 was Mighty Thor 705 with 93,000.
Ooh.
Number 7 was Infinity Countdown with 93,000. That's their countdown to, was it Infinity
Storm something.
Wars or
I don't know.
something? Is that what it is? It's just the plural? That's what they do now.
Of course, it's something similar named coming out because the movie's out,
Yeah.
which they do every year now, right? Or every other year.
Number 9 is Oblivion Song by Kirkman and Di Felici.
That was very
80,000. Was it?
Yeah, I recommend checking
I
it
don't
out.
read Kirkman, so
It's Kirkman doing Kirby essentially.
yeah, only Kirby should do Kirby. Well, and Tom King should do Kirby. But other than that,
It's pretty good.
Oh, it's worth mentioning. Action Comics 999 did get a bit of a bump because it actually just beat both detective issues, and it normally doesn't.
no. See, like 999.
It also normally doesn't beat Superman, which it also did by a healthy amount.
See, look at that. My zany ideas sometimes mean something.
Actually, no, there was only one. I was going to check what the other one was, but there was only one last month.
Yeah. It's a weird month.
It's been on hiatus because they pushed 1,000.
It's really weird getting it so sporadically because we had 999 and it's like, okay, it's been a while, then we're getting 1,000, and then it's going to be a while till we get 1,001.
Yeah.
So I just
feel
looked up
strange.
Weapon H, and god damn, that looks stupid.
Yes.
I just can't. And it's Greg Pak. I like Greg Pak.
I like Greg Pak too.
He is like,
Oh my god, what is that? What is that coming out of his arms and
what
shoulders?
an abomination.
What is going on with
It's
his
their
shoulder?
Doomsday. Greg Pak liked writing Doomsday Superman so much in New 52. He's just like, I'm gonna go do the same thing, but give him claws.
Pretty much.
It like,
You know what? I don't think you're that far off.
no. Pak.
How the mighty have
Yeah.
fallen.
He had a creator-owned book that was like an alternate history of the Old West, and it just disappeared. My shop stopped getting it. And I can't even remember what it's called, but I was enjoying the 2 issues
Is
I
that the one he
got.
kickstarted?
I think so.
I vaguely remember him doing the Kickstarter.
Yeah, but I was enjoying that, and I liked his Superman run, his action,
Yeah.
whatever it was. So, oh man, I'm gonna look up this book now. Got to know. Pete, this is your fault for bringing up sales numbers.
I think
Hey,
basically what we're saying is me and Matt just don't really care enough about the numbers, so we're just going to tangent off into other stuff whenever you do this.
hey, sparking
One more
conversation. If people wanted the figures, I asked them after the first time I did it. There was active support for figures.
There was, which is why we
Kingsway
like to do-
West. That's what
What's
it
that?
was. It's called Kingsway West.
Ah, yeah.
I'm gonna have to find that in trade now.
Can we talk about DC books now?
I suppose so.
Yeah, let's get there.
Well, I suppose we'll start with the usual order. We'll go with Detective Comics first. Issue 978. James Tynion the fourth writing, Javier Fernandez on the art. Next part of Batman Eternal, and this issue kind of boils down to Batman going to speak with Kate and her father to sort of go, look into why these two soldiers from Colony seemingly went apeshit and killed a bunch of gang
Or a
members.
bunch of mobsters.
Yeah. And so it's that. It's got this awkward thing. Probably my favourite page of the book is Batman arriving at the Kane mansion. So nice big full page spread.
That's pretty good, but my favourite page is actually the second one. I think it's the title page. The layouts of the action sequence for that are so much fun.
Yeah, with Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it's got such a great flow to it.
Then the other side of things, you have Ulysses sort of enacting his plan and kind of turning everything on, and he turns all the colony soldiers by the end into full-on OMAC look.
Yeah.
More importantly, he takes his place as the general, which, since he got brought up, I've been waiting for. So,
Shaved his head,
huh?
made a little broadcast.
So were you guys aware that he was based off a character from the mid-2000s from Tim's solo series called
Nope.
The General?
Never read that series.
Okay.
News to me.
Yeah,
I read the start of it, but not.
Yeah,
not
so
much.
he came in. He was kind of a heroic figure, kind of like this Captain America type. But he's kind of, anytime there's a war being fought by America, it kind of energizes him. He's as old as the Revolution. At least that's what he claimed. And that was kind of as interesting how he became a thorn in Tim's side. So when they brought him back here in Detective, as Tim's kind of contemporary, just shaded evil, it was cool. And I was like, I wonder if they're ever going to make him the general. And then he shaves his head and announces in grand fashion that he is now the general. And I was like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah, he's a smug little shit. He keeps talking about how easy it is to manipulate Batman and everything
I
else.
think it is. I think it's just he's just got so many monitors that you can have someone on every monitor, so it's really easy to keep track of everything. I'm really envious of just that amount of monitors. I wish I could have that.
That's how I imagine how Peter lives. He's just got monitors everywhere.
Not enough.
You can never have enough.
That's how he watches. Every time I see a new review pop up from you guys, I'm just like, is he watching two of these at one time? Like Lost in Space and Lemony Snicket? Come on.
No, we finished Lemony Snicket first, and then went into Lost in Space.
Gotcha.
Just about.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the timeline that jumps here. Tim's on crutches. What's that about? Was that post fight with Batman?
I just assumed it was in that fight because he comes stumbling in the cave, and it seems to be just.
Yeah, you're right. He seems fine in the fight, doesn't he?
Because they've brought in the two dudes. They're still lying on the floors after they've just grabbed them and brought them in, so it has to be right after. So
I just the way that they're crutches, it's not like it's his sticks that he's using on to like I'm so tired. They're full on structural crutches. So I don't know what was that. That was a weird choice. So,
the thing is, obviously, he's not got a bandage or a cast or anything on his legs, so it looks like it's just a sprain, and he's just can keep the load off.
yeah, maybe.
I guess.
There's a sweet moment actually when Cass shows up, and I like how he's like, "How did you even get in here? I've got everything on lockdown." She just kind of shrugs at him, like, "Eh."
Yeah.
That's my one issue with this issue is the art is kind of spotty, and usually I like this artist. He did some Nightwing and it was fine, but like his Cass, not so much.
Like I say, I really liked all the stuff in the Kane Mansion, like when he was the entrance, and then when Batman was walking around before he spoke to them, and most of that stuff I liked. It was quite nice and atmospheric, nice and gothic.
It has a lot of mood, but I don't think he's the best on the faces. There was a weird thing when Cass came, and I was like, where are her arms, like her hands? Because it looks at first like they're in the front of the hoodie, but then I'm not sure if they're just behind her back. Like I can't tell. It seems to be just flicking back and forth, and I'm not sure if it's just a problem with the art or.
There's also a weird thing with one of Tim's expressions. I'm gonna find the page where he's talking. He's like animated, but it doesn't like he has a look of concern on his face. It's the right after.
Oh yeah, computer rerun the blood toxicity. Look for the trace of nanotech. That one.
Yeah.
He looks
that
like
one's
he's screaming it.
But above it too is he looks like he's concerned, but the dialogue isn't concerning. He's not till the next panel.
Yeah, it's actually he's getting a realization, but he looks horrible.
Yeah, exactly. Versus there was just some spottiness there, but I think the action's really well done. The OMAC transformations are horrifying, and that's what you want out of that.
Definitely.
So, but I want more on the Kane family. Like they seemed so odd, and that comes from like the Waynes, who are pretty well put together from what we know, So this is completely different, and that's why Bruce's mom, Martha, went to Thomas. So it was so different than her family. I want more of that, and it. I don't know if we're ever going to get that because Tynion seems to be done with Batman for right now.
Yeah, but wrapping up his run. I did like Tim offering to do more Shakespeare with Cass. Like that was kind of a nice little.
It was
little
nice,
moment.
yeah.
Actually, I was reading. I read the Batgirl and the Birds of Prey arc with all the, when all the men in Gotham get sick and the birds team up with all the Bat characters, and then Wonder Woman shows up. And one of the sweetest things in that story is Cass is one of is in that story as well, and she's actually concerned about Clayface during that. That Clayface is like maybe dying, and I'm like, oh man, this makes me feel really bad. Reading this now, like in hindsight,
Yeah.
is
Was that
upsetting.
the last issue of that this week?
No, it's next month. The last issue.
Next month, the last one. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll talk about that when it's done next month. But I started catching up and I read the arc earlier today. This was fun. But that moment, it particularly stuck out to me. I just thought of it because we're talking about Cass running Shakespeare lines. I like that. Tim's like, well, you were doing that for him because he was the one who wanted to audition for things, but he clearly sees that it meant something to her as well. He's offering, and I kind of like that. It was kind of a sweet moment, especially since Cass and Tim haven't really had that much interaction. I don't think.
No, Tim was gone for most of Cass's development.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It almost feels like he's been going, okay, what's everyone been up to while I've been gone? Oh, you've been doing Shakespeare. Okay.
Well, that's what I mean. Tim, I like the Tynion's take on him is he's so wrapped up in his own stuff, he's forgotten how to relate to people. Because he's had this issue with Spoiler, and now he's having it with Cass. It's coming up against Bruce, too.
Yeah.
So I like that that's the thread going through here.
And of course, the big cliffhanger at the end is that the OMAC project also affects him, and he starts to turn into an OMAC soldier.
Yeah.
And no, I guess Tim Drake's dead. We'll never see him again.
Shut up.
This gives me excitement for the Cass fight because I want to see Cass own him.
Cass vs. OMAC is going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah. So because we know Tim's an accomplished fighter, but he's not,
No,
Sandra Kane.
Yeah.
he's not. But once you add in the OMAC stuff, that's going to...
Yeah, but so
really...
now she's going to be able to cut loose. It's kind of like I like when Superman can cut loose on like a big alien villain. That he knows that would normally kill a human adversary, but he can, like when he fights Darkseid or Mongol, I kind of like that because you see what he can do. I feel like we're going to get the same out of Cass. She's going to have all this pent-up rage from Clayface, and she can take it out on Tim as an OMAC.
Well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking. I really do like the page layouts in this book. There's a lot of a real nice flow and a lot of the eye panels that really work out nicely.
Yeah, the page where he's turning everything on at first, there's like a sort of eye layout to everything that kind of matches the OMAC symbol, and it all works really well. Like I say, I think the complaints about the faces are valid, but I think some of the landscapes and the mood of stuff was really
definitely.
The mood outweighs it for sure. Like it's just a few times where it takes me out of the moment.
Yeah. That's always my only drawback because I really enjoyed this issue after a couple that felt like we were kind of just dancing in circles. In a holding pattern. It pushed it forward because even all the Kane stuff with her and what it means, because you have the family motto, which comes back around because I just looked that up. It got brought up in the early issues. I think it was 935 that the family motto is "We stand together," and her and Bruce have that conversation in this one about what standing together actually means. And so I like that it's differentiating them, and they maybe could coexist, even though that might drive Bruce nuts. The thought's there. And it's almost what I think Batman Eternal was supposed to be in that run. But I never finished because the art got so out of hand.
Yeah, that got rough. Weekly series, not the most consistent.
No.
All right, there we go. So Tim's dead, never coming back. But hey, at least he existed, Connor, unlike some other people who never existed in the DCU.
Oh, jeez, I'm not doing this.
You don't have his old button there still, do you?
You know who I mean. I don't have his old button here now, unfortunately. I can't turn that on. But
you need to set it for next week. We need throwback buttons.
Yeah. For some nostalgia. All the old buttons are back. Yeah.
Yeah. That 100, let's get into the spirit of it.
Yeah, that's an idea. What other old jokes did we have way back at the start of the show? I could whip out once again.
Matt can go back to his original, final line. After at the end of the credits, Peter says his last thing, and Matt. Recently, it's been different things.
I can't remember what his original line was. It was Connor Kent for a long time.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh no, I remember it. I remember it. I don't know. I had to think about it.
I don't remember.
Don't say it. Save it for next week.
I don't remember it. It's been bleeped from existence.
So, something to do with an Allegiant. And good joke, Matt.
Oh yeah. It went from existence. Damn it.
All right, let's move on to Wonder Woman 44. James Robinson writing and Emanuela Lupacchino on the art. Oh, Matt looks upset.
Oh, I'm already so glad I didn't read this just by that one look.
Look, I love the art of Lupacchino.
Oh, that's great. Oh, is that the art?
I just wish I cared about the story. Robinson has simultaneously ruined Wonder Woman, like not the character, the book, and Darkseid, because I don't feel like Darkseid's a threat. I feel like if we didn't have Mr. Miracle going on right now, Darkseid just would be just another villain. And I like when Darkseid's special. I like how he's being used in Mr. Miracle.
Yeah,
and
he has no presence here.
No, he's just big. Like, he could have made him. Why not? Why couldn't this be Calabac? And it's what's her name's brother. I'm so upset that I can't even remember the evil
Grail.
Grail, yeah. it's Grail's brother, not Grail's father. Because this would make a perfect plot for Calabac. Trying to right now Apocalypse is in shambles because of what's going on in Mr. Miracle that they've hinted out a couple times. So Calabac's done this, and he's trying to get the Amazonians or the Amazons as an army. This and it taints Rucka's run of not being able to go to Themyscira, and just the whole little loophole with Grail. It just upset me.
Sorry, what's this?
Yeah, you should explain that, Matt, for the folks at home who have not read Wonder Woman and like to hear what's going on.
So you're so lucky. So the whole plot is Darkseid is trying to get all these relics in tune with his little, jungle.
Because if you remember, end of last issue, he teleported the entire Argos base, or not the entire, but the chunk of the building that was needed with all the relics in it to the Amazon forest, and now he's got all the relics. Most of this issue is everyone just kind of fighting. Wonder Woman's fighting Darkseid, Jason's coming in and helping her, and for a second I thought, maybe Jason's going to sacrifice himself for her here, and it never happened. I'm hoping it still does. But to get the relics, and he opens a portal with these relics to Themyscira, right? There's a portal open, and Wonder Woman...
Diana can see it, and she gets knocked through it, but of course nothing happens.
She tries to go through it, and then it's like a force field that zaps her back. It's like, no access for you. You can't go back.
No, but Grail jumps through because theoretically she had never stepped foot there, because while she might have been conceived there, she wasn't born there, so she never stepped foot. Therefore, the rule of once you leave, you can never return.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The specific thing was that she never stepped foot because she was always held as a baby when she was on Themyscira. That's the loophole as to why she can go back.
I'm not gonna lie, part of me loves the technicality of that.
I do too, but if I cared about why they're going there, like if it was her wanting playing Darkseid, that she just wants to go there because she wants to be deep down, she wants to be an Amazon. She feels like that's her other side, but no, it's to make them into new Amazon parademons.
Yeah, the cliffhanger is that all the Amazons, or not all of them, but a good portion of them are coming through the portal now, and they're all turned into parademons, but they've got the Amazon armor on.
So how do they get back? If they don't, they'll have left Themyscira.
I guess they don't. Exactly. I guess they have to just be killed now because they're parademons. I don't know.
Yeah.
These are answers that are not in this issue, Carter. Maybe next time.
Oh, and then Jason's rolling around, and you think that he's gonna, and I don't, and I feel like Steve's going to be the one that sacrifices himself because he's been so disconnected from Diana during Robinson's run, that just feels like that's where it's heading. I opened this book up and was just there's a line of dialogue he had said that I'm just like, oh no, Robinson's killing him off.
I don't think DC will be that stupid to let that happen. I feel like Jason's story ultimately is going to end with his death. I feel like that's what's going to happen. Maybe it's just blind hope in my part.
One way to redeem Jason is like so Trevor dies, but it's one of those comic book deaths where it's at the end of the issue, but then Jason sacrifices himself, and Steve gets to come back.
I have a request. What? Can you guys stop reading this, because just hearing about it is making me annoyed?
Yeah, this is probably.
How
this
about
my last
you
issue,
keep your request to yourself, you ginger menace?
So this is where I'm at. Part of me wants to keep reading it because I'm invested, and my damn completionist brain is just like, no, you have to stick it out. The other rational part of my brain goes, no, you hate this, and it bums you out every time you read it, because it makes you think of the good times where you enjoyed reading Wonder Woman. And the only reason I picked this one up was because of the variant cover, because you had
Superman one.
Yeah, and it looks like Henry Cavill, and just the way the colors all work together. Might be a spoiler for later. It's a fantastic cover.
So many good covers this week. So many good covers for Superman as well.
Yeah, and so I don't care. I'm up to that point. It's a bummer. But that's it. The Tynion writing.
Do you know,
Diana,
Matt? See when she was explaining the loophole that because her feet never actually touch the ground, she gets to go back. I could almost hear in my head Michael Cole screaming, "Both feet have to hit the floor!" Like.
Basically, she was Shawn Michaels getting the cat.
It's like Royal Rumble rules. Like, it's so weird.
So Connor, skinning the cat's a wrestling move where
I was just glad Pete said Royal Rumble there, because I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
So you go over the ropes. So in the Royal Rumble, you get eliminated by going over the ropes, right? Battle Royal rules, and you both feet have to touch the ground. So if one foot touches the ground, you're still good, right? So they get spots out of this guy, Kofi Kingston, every year because, like this year, his foot landed on a plate of pancakes. So he was still in and was able to...
Right, okay.
Technicalities.
But Shawn Michaels, who's this legendary wrestler, I'm not a big fan of his, but he's so good in the ring. It's hard. He's got a bit of an attitude problem. At least back in the day he did. He would do this thing where he'd fling himself over the ropes and hang, and his feet almost touch, and then he'd pull himself back over. And it would always tease, the both feet have to hit the floor rules. What were we going to say, Pete?
I was just going to say that you had a lot of excess details that don't need to be there for what you were trying to explain.
I'm just, in case Alden's listening, I just have to let him know that I'm going to try to get digs in at Sean every chance I can. Because you're either a Sean guy or a Brett guy, and wrestling fans will know what I'm talking about.
He's still going. Like
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
Yeah, but you need to listen about wrestling than Wonder Woman, right?
Do you know what? I think I probably would.
Yeah, see, there you go. Thanks, James Robinson. Thanks.
Dear.
Lupacchino. Squandering great art.
This wasn't his worst issue. Like there's been worse ones in the run, but yeah, I left it till last. I left this till today. I had less books this week, and I still didn't read this until the day of the recording.
This is the first one I read because I was like ripping off a Band-Aid. Just want to get it over with.
I have a question, Pete. Did you read this before or after you started catching up on Birds of Prey?
After.
It was before. It was before. But it was basically, I read that and then went, I want to read other things, and then
that made me feel better.
Yeah. So I started reading those afterwards.
I read this, and then right after I read Justice League of China, and it was.
I was going to say, I didn't read Justice League this week. What's going on?
All right. Shall we move on? Well, hold on, Matt. Matt, are you dropping this? This is a good question.
I don't know.
Matt, I made it very clear last time that if you drop it, I drop it. So I need to know. I need the answer to this question.
Right now, it's Schrodinger's comic. It's both dropped and not dropped. I don't know yet.
Well, I'll dangle you off the side of a building, and you'll both be dropped and not dropped, and we'll see how you fare.
I'd like to see you try to get me over the side of a building.
I could do it.
No, I don't think so.
With great difficulty.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm with Matt on this one.
Well, are you resisting, or is this just a question of me actually getting you over the edge?
Why would he not resist? Yeah, sure.
No, you don't just
over
let
this
you
building.
do it like you're Suge Knight and I'm Vanilla Ice. Like, come on.
You never said you were resisting. I felt like it was disputing just maybe being able to physically lift you over. That felt like what I was disputing there.
Yeah, well, either way, if I'm hanging and dangling, I will say whatever to get you to pull me back over. So it's fine. It's kind of like, yeah.
I won't be able to pull you back over anyway. If I've got you over the edge and I'm hanging on, like it's basically just that. It's just
sociopath.
It's just a ticking time bomb until you drop, because I won't be able to pull you back up from one leg.
You should go to the gym more.
I should bulk up just so that I could lift up Matt
off the side of a building. Yeah.
off the side of a roof. Yeah.
They're pretty hefty though. I'm not gonna lie. If you could get me back over, there's only a few people I'm sure that could get me back over.
Yeah. Me and Connor together could probably do it. We could do it a pair.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All I know is this is much more interesting than.
How did we get to this?
Although in traditional,
We were Wonder Woman a second ago. Now we're talking about dropping Matt off the side of a building.
just to swing this back round to the Royal Rumble talk, I think as we were trying to pull you back up, I think I might just do the heel move and throw Connor over as he's trying to help you up.
Swing this back around to Royal Rumble. We should be swinging this back around to Wonder Woman.
I've got this image in my head. I've got this image in my head of Matt dangling off a building. How he got there is now irrelevant. Maybe it wasn't me that pushed him. I don't know. But, we're holding on. And Connor's got the other leg, and we're trying to pull him up. And I'm just, you know what? Now's my chance. And I just flipped Connor
how you got
over.
me to look over the building. You said, "Hey, look, is that Connor Kent?" And idiot me is just like, "Oh, where?" And then you're like, "Doink."
And then I throw Connor over, and when he lands on the pavement, he goes splat, and he just blood splatters everywhere. I'll say, "Oh, sorry, wrong Connor," and then proceed to try to pull you back up.
Connor, just know that if I saw strength left, I would try to grab you.
Appreciate
Hang on. Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, so now I'm holding both of you as you're over the edge of the.
Well, at that point, it's just like,
screwed.
yeah. We just let go and use Connor as a buffer.
Yeah, I don't think that's even a question of me having to go to the gym more often. I think that's just at that point, I'm like, no, there's no way I'm pulling two of you up. All right, let's move on.
This show is a shambles.
Let's move on. Okay. Flash, number 44. Joshua Williamson writing, Carmine Giandomenico on the art, if I could say his name properly. So this is the final issue in the Perfect Storm arc, and the framing device of this one is that Barry is writing a letter to Iris because he thinks he might die when he takes care of the negative Speed Force Storm and Grodd. So he's admitting all these things. I've loved you, blah 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 blah. Of course, the big notable thing is he's like, hey, I failed, Godspeed, I failed Mina, and I try and help, Kid Flash and Avery, and then he's like, and then I try and help Wally. There's another Wally West, by the way. He goes into that, like, oh, this is exciting. Oh. And well, obviously, I'm not expecting him to actually die here. I'm expecting him to be okay by the end, and maybe she won't actually have...
Flash War still to come.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if nothing else. But also just because he's the main character, and he's a prominent DC comic book character, and how often do we actually kill them off?
I know, but that's the thing. This is one of the few series where they could get away with it, because you can kill Barry Allen and go, oh, hey, the Flash is now Wally Westbrook.
Sure. Yep. You could.
Had I not known Flash War was coming, I would have been a little bit, because even in all the No Justice stuff, we haven't been told that was Barry, although it probably is now.
It probably is, but...
Yeah, but had they decided, like, he's going to ride off into the sunset, Crisis style, then I would have been okay with it, because now it's Wally's book, and now we get, we had just had that annual that had, reset him up in Keystone and all that stuff, so yeah.
So fighting with Grodd, all the rest of it, beats Grodd up, outsmarts him, and then gorillas from Gorilla City show up, the guard, and arrest him for his crimes and take him off. But the negative Speed Force storm is still an issue, and that's going on. And Barry's like, "Hey, I'm going to have to run around this to suck all the speed out of it. It might take my powers away, might very well kill me. I'm going to do this alone." And he speeds off. And probably one of my favourite pages of the book is that Wally immediately just speeds after him, and he's like catching up behind him, and he's like, "Barry, stop being a dick. You're not doing this alone." And then eventually all the speedsters come in, and we end up with that big double-page spread of like, we're faster when we run together.
Never run alone. Yeah, run together. Exactly.
I love the page before that. There's a panel with them all just in the streaks, and it's all the different colours, and it just looks like Power Rangers, when they teleport.
Yeah. So no, all that stuff was super fun. And of course, at the end, he's back with Iris, and it flat out says at the end, because obviously we're not going straight into Flash War. The next issue is actually going to be Iris finding out about Wally. That's going to be the next issue.
Yes.
So
you know what I like about Williamson's run so far is like everything that happened in New 52 has still happened, but they've gone back and through storytelling have fixed the issues. Like, they took away the Rogue's powers, that they were given in New 52. Grodd being connected to the Speed Force, that's gone now. It's reset it to classic Flash tropes, but without just using the retcon button. And just going, oh no, that's how it is.
I wonder if the New 52 stuff reads a bit better now. Now you know where it's going. Okay, this isn't permanent. It's all kind of going back to normal in a natural way. If it feels like it's not as glaring.
Because these are all things I didn't like in New 52.
That's fair, yeah.
And I didn't like Reverse Flash in New 52 either. There was a lot of things that I had, obviously Butch and Manapello, there was good qualities to that run, but a lot of the changes did feel like, changes because...
Well, changes for
the sake of it being different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I enjoy...
Mike's going.
Speed Force is corrupting
I
things.
still think it's got its problems, but it's an enjoyable enough read.
Yeah.
It's not a definitive Flash read though, because of the things that it does.
Yeah.
No, and so the fact that he's gone through and told an organic story and reestablished Wally.
I would never recommend that run as a first-time Flash run to anyone.
Not as a first-time Flash run. No.
I'd be like, no, go read John's stuff, read this Williamson stuff, but I would be like, okay. And then once you've read all that other stuff, go and check it out if you want to.
Yeah, I think if you're familiar with the Flash in general, then I think it's fine. I think it's a perfectly decent story, and it's gorgeous.
That said, you do get Grodd yelling "Kneel before Grodd," so like.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, there was a line in Legends of Tomorrow. I was mixing up two shows there. Legends of Tomorrow last week. Grodd went back in time to try and kill a young Barack Obama, and when he grabs him by the neck, he says, "It's time to make America Grodd again."
It's so good
because it's not far off. Just replace Grodd with an orangutan, and you got it.
Legends is the best DC show right now.
It's so good. But anyway, I love this issue of Flash. I think this art's been great. This is the book is the last few arcs has been kind of escalating into better and better, and I feel like this one is like, this is the best one so far, and I feel like in such a good place where I'm like, and I'm also really excited about Flash War, because obviously the last page of this book is going back to Hunter Zolomon, and he's like, she loved Iris, and Barry, I was never your Reverse Flash, but I've been studying up here in the Flash Museum. I know all about you. I'm going to take you and Wally down. So
even he goes, I know more about you than even Eobard, and that gave me chills because that was never Zoom's thing, right? That was always proper Reverse Flash.
It's the way he says, "You were never my Flash." It's like, you know what? But now it's time. You weren't before, but things have got to be done.
Yeah. It's genuinely exciting. I think everything from that annual and all these issues in the last few months have all been top stuff.
And also Giandomenico is so good.
Like I say, everything, once Barry ran off to try and stop the storm, and then everyone else caught up with them, and the pages of Wally catching up with them, then the full page spread of them all running together, all of that stuff. That entire section of the book is freaking fantastic. It's gorgeous.
I'm not gonna lie though, just some of the panels, the way he punches on Grodd, you did that with the reference. God damn it.
Yeah.
I just they look so good.
Yeah.
Like there's the one where he's just doing like 5 or 6 punches in one panel.
Yeah.
And it just looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's a really good issue.
I love it.
Really like the whole arc. And excited to where it's going next. But Flash is on top form. Flash as a run is evolved and gotten better and kind of built upon itself, and it's just nice to see.
It's not always been my favorite. Like the very start, I thought it was a bit slow off the mark, and then I really wasn't a fan of the negative Speed Force area. But aside from those kind of chunks, it's been really good. And like when it's hitting, it really hits hard.
Yeah. So no, thoroughly recommend the Flash right now. If you're not reading it, I would say it's worth catching up because it feels like a lot of big things are going down and are about to go down. So no, Flash number 44, very very good. Well, that'll take us on to Supergirl number 20. Steve Orlando and Jody Houser writing with Jamal Campbell on the art. This is the final issue of the series, if I can think of what I'm trying to say there for a second. It's the final issue of the series, and obviously the last sort of batch of issues, the last arc, the in plain sight arc, and then the standalone issue last time have very much been the best chunk of the series. Again, much like the Flash, it kind of got better as it went, which is why we're kind of upset that it was ending. And seemingly continues this trend with the new 52 Supergirl, where that just found its feet before it got cancelled, annoyingly.
Yeah, although this one, Bendis hadn't been coming, I'm sure.
Maybe that's what did it, which is a shame. However, I have to honestly say that this final issue has a lot of problems, and
I thought you were going the other way.
No, because there's things I like about it, all the stuff that's wrapping up, the Supergirl stuff with Bones and all the rest of it. Yeah, all those sides of things are all fine, and I wish it focused on that for the entire issue. Instead, for some reason, and I know this is not Hauser, this is definitely Orlando.
Yeah.
Because Orlando takes the opportunity in the final issue that should feel like a conclusion to the book that I've been reading for the last 2 years, to instead of focusing on the characters we care about in this book, introduces out of nowhere this new character and then a second character for Supergirl to fight whilst all the main stuff with Bones is going on.
I had to go back and find my last issue to make sure I didn't miss an introduction. Like, even if it was just a panel.
No idea. I didn't. No idea who these people are. Supergirl's fighting one of them, and then another one shows up and grabs the first one, and like, we need to go off. And there's just a little narration box, a little editor's note that just says, "Hey, to find out where these characters go next, make sure to read The Unexpected in June." And I'm like, did you seriously just use the final issue of a book that I've been reading since the start to introduce random ass characters for a new series you're doing in a couple of months?
Yeah. Normally, if you would have told me you got an axe-wielding lady that comes from Viking mythology in a Supergirl book, I'd be like, hell yeah, sign me up.
Do you know what it is, though? It's so, like, shallow and just, like, it's obviously just a tease for this other book. And
exactly.
I'm like, this issue...
kind of a dick move.
This issue should not be a setup for another series. This issue should be a conclusion to the series that it's been. And it's not. Instead, it's... And Joe, honestly, these characters, when they showed up, it gave me, like, flashbacks of his JLA, where all of his villains were these generic-looking assholes who I didn't care about. Like, they're over-designed, it's all these extra bits and pieces. I felt the same way about these two.
Yeah, had these characters showed up somewhere else first, and there was a little editor's box that was like, hey, why are these guys in National City? I could have taken it, but Torrid, the Viking lady, just comes out of nowhere. And it doesn't relate to anything going on with the DEO or Mokari. Like, I don't even get any conclusion from Mokari.
Not really. I mean, they stop him, but there's not really much to it.
No, but he even, like, they don't even take him in. He's just like, oh, I'm going back to this place. So I was like, well, was this a thing that you had planned going forward and it got cut off? And you couldn't come up with a quick ending or what? Because everything else is fine. The stuff with Bones and the DEO and all of that all works really well, I thought. And the stuff with Ben and Catco.
Bones was great. Catco stuff was good. Chasing Veritas, like, coming back together.
Did we know they were a couple?
Honestly, I didn't remember that myself either, but it worked well enough. Yeah. That didn't feel like it. It
didn't bother me, but I was just like, was I just not picking up on this the whole time? Like, you know,
But because it's Chase is like invading the DEO with the werewolf with Laron.
yeah, no, that's cool. Again,
Yeah.
they're bringing back Lauron, the Kryptonian werewolf, and
Easy way to score points with Matt.
yeah,
exactly.
All that
and
stuff.
the Viking lady, like, I should love this issue, but it was such a flipping mess that
But it's because
can't play.
it's because there's no build up to these new characters. They just show up. There's no reason for them really, and then they just run off. And it says, "Hey, go follow him in this other book." And it's like that was like a backdoor pilot without any plot related to them to set these characters up. And it felt like such just a bullshit move. And honestly, it's left with a really bad taste in my mouth. And I don't blame Jodie Houser one bit because I think she's the one scripting, but I think Orlando's the one, still plotting. And I feel like this is purely from that level. I don't think anything she could have done in the script with the dialogue would have saved what I don't like about this issue.
Oh, no, you're right.
I felt genuinely annoyed, like I'd been given this other thing. Like I felt like I'd been betrayed's a strong word, but it felt like it was a bait and switch. Yeah.
Look at that. Same time. That's scary.
Why is it scary?
Because we're lining up on final, rankings. We're finishing each other's sentences at the same time. I don't like it. I feel like I'm being assimilated by the Borg.
Nah, Borg don't throw their other Borg out over the buildings. So
it might just see what happens so that they can adapt. But yeah, it's not a good send off. At least the New 52 send off felt like a send off, like with the Citadel stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, this sucks at this ending, but at least I have a nice conclusion. And the final page of this is nice, but
yeah,
it definitely makes me feel like this version of Carrie is going out the window.
I don't necessarily feel that per se, but it just kind of feels like it's an ending. So they wanted to have the final page where it's like, oh, I'm Supergirl and I'm the girl tomorrow, blah blah blah. And she's flying. That was a little bit ropey on that page, though, I have to admit.
As someone who's not been reading for a while, this because I was thinking, once it finishes, I might go back and reread it, reread from the start and finish it all. But if it's not really got a proper conclusion, I don't know if I want.
Well, here's the thing, though. Emotionally, it does, because Kara's emotional journey actually ends in issue 18. And it actually was a really good conclusion for that. And then issue 19 was a really good standalone about how she can help people outside of fighting things. It's just this final issue where it's just kind of like,
That's really weird.
It is.
Because the emotional journey ends as a really fitting conclusion in issue 18.
But Orlando's kind of getting the shit under the stick with Supergirl ending, Justice League of America ending. Like, those are his two main books.
I know he said on Twitter he's working on something else that he can't talk about yet.
Well, yeah, clearly, it's the unexpected. Like...
No, he's working on something else he can't talk about yet. He can talk about that.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I didn't even know that was coming until this issue. Like, so I don't stay up to date on stuff like you guys do. So...
I didn't know it was coming.
Okay.
We've brought up in the news. This is just you having bad memory.
I don't ever remember that being brought up in the news. Connor didn't either.
I plead it was on a week where I wasn't here.
Very confused. You can't both be not here. There's never a week where you're both not here. I don't recall any episodes where I've been sitting here for myself.
I don't remember that being brought up in the news that he was.
It may be the best episode ever, Connor. You don't know. They may all love it.
Either way, it was, again, I like the stuff, the ending with Ben and her family, them going to dinner, and them holding hands and stuff. So,
this is the thing. Like 18 and 19 were great. That arc that ended with 18 was fantastic. I loved that stuff, and I wish it kept going. So it really just feels
Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando's someone who I am just thoroughly not excited for anymore.
Like, this has gone for a guy, where it was like, Night of the Monster Men.
Yeah, because especially since, like I said, the characters they introduced in this, and I say introduced, I use that word very loosely. The characters that appeared in this randomly and then left randomly, they reminded me a lot of the villains that I didn't like in his JLA, where they were just dull and uninteresting and overly designed comic book characters that had no impact, no presence.
He has a thing for like capes and like horned helmets. Because it reminded me of his Doctor Doom ripoff guy. I can't even remember his name.
Oh, me neither.
Lord Chaos or something.
Yeah, they're super forgettable. And it's not that he's doing the art, obviously, but obviously, these are his characters that he's creating and giving to an artist to.
I'm so glad he's not involved in the Justice League stuff going forward.
As am I. I really like, because up until this point I've been liking Supergirl, and it notably got better when with a co-writer. But I did like it before that as well. Like, and it was getting better before that.
The Cyborg Superman stuff was pretty good with,
Yeah, and then the Empress stuff with the team.
Yeah.
No, I liked at the start as well. I feel like he just has a very limited amount of ideas.
Yeah.
For each thing. Like
I think he needs to be on a book like The Ray, where it's smaller and he can kind of do these things, but you give him the big spotlight and it kind of...
He buckles under the pressure.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely better in a solo character than a team book. That much was clear beforehand. Yeah. And then this final issue just pissed me off because it was like, I'll just chill my next book.
He did Midnighter, right?
He did.
Yeah.
So there you go. He's Josh Trank. Fine on a smaller thing that okay, he does his thing. Right, okay, now the spotlight's on, crash and burn.
Yeah, oh god, I hated JLA. I tried really hard. Me and Matt went back and read up until the start of the Atom story, and
I think I got one issue. I think I left after one issue.
I read one issue of the Atom story and went, this is just because it got slightly better after that first arc, and then it got to the Atom story. Like, this just feels like it's back to the same old crap as from before, and I wanted none of it.
Yeah, I was like, why am I reading this?
So no. Super disappointed, to say the least, but hey, I still highly recommend reading the run though, because I do think it gets pretty good before this. It does have the emotional ending beforehand. This issue though, it's just this was a kick in the teeth, quite frankly. So
okay, well, if I do read through it, I'm just gonna not read this issue.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's probably fine.
If the emotional arc finishes in 18, I'll read 19 as an epilogue, and that's it.
That honestly,
that would actually work, because then the DEO is just out and about.
Yeah,
and you could just whatever.
Yeah, just when they next show up.
Yeah, the only thing that would be left dangling is that the city's still kind of against Supergirl, and that's kind of fixed in this issue. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you can get on with that. Anyway, let's move on to the New Superman and the Justice League of China number 22. Jean Luen Yang writing and Brent Peeples on the art. This is, of course, we've got the Korean Aquaman, who's just sort of became the Aquaman.
The Dragon Son.
The Dragon Son. And a lot of this early issue is Bakshi is basically turned them in. He's called up the Lantern Corps China, and Delane's not happy about this.
Nope.
So they get into a bit of a tiff, and then they end up fighting the Corps. Because at first he doesn't want to fight them, but then they start attacking the other members. Like, hey, attacking my teammates wasn't part of the deal. So then it becomes an all-out war and battle. Keenan gets involved, of course. Whole thing's going on.
He meditates and becomes the All Yang version of himself.
Yeah.
That was super interesting.
Yeah, I'm questioning if because when they're on the way and he's flying like upright, he's flying as if he's standing, upright, which is super weird. And he says he's going to kill North Korean Aquaman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this feels like he's actually being infected more with the other one. Not Yi Ching.
All Yang.
All Yang, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's the All Yang version of himself.
Because he goes like all white with white hair, white suit, like All Yang, and he's flying through, and I'm like, okay, so he's been super corrupted, and to the point where when they finally get to him, because obviously the Corps took Aquaman away because he transformed back into a regular human again. When they get there, like Avery's even like warning them, hey, Superman's went kind of nuts, like everyone brace yourself, and we end up we end with the Dragon Son has decided, or he's been told from the god, the dragon, he's mystical father, that he's to flood Korea to get rid of the sinners.
Yep, and that's everyone. That's
because
the north and south alike.
The issue ends with him conjuring the floods. That's how the issue ends. There's some fun stuff throughout though. There's like a moment where Keenan freezes him with his freeze breath, and then he's like, "Hey, he can control water." That was just arming him with like sharp water.
Yeah, bonehead. Yeah.
And then he's like just like flying, like ice daggers are just like flying towards them.
And I like Dylan and Baishi are both. I like them being at odds because she's about taking care of him and about Dragon's Son, and he doesn't know what he's doing. This is all new to him. And Baishi's like, well, I don't care. He's breaking the law. I'm about the law. And then when they bring him in there, his Bane is there. What was his name?
From the school, and then his sister shows up, basically his version of the Joker.
Yeah.
Which, Alpaca, I think she was calling herself. But the way the mask kind of smiled, it was like, oh, this is kind of his Joker, seemingly.
Yeah, definitely. And so it's like Batman getting thrown into Arkham.
But basically, it's the crab shell. But that's their Arkham, essentially. So no, I had fun with it. It was another solid issue. Peeples is very consistent in the art. The everything with the Aquaman's been super entertaining. It's still the whole, because at one point when the voice is talking to him, he's like, "Hey, do you know about this mountain?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's where our supreme leader." And he's like, "Oh no, old habits." And he sort of has to like sort of remind himself, "I don't have to be this suppressed, person anymore who's under the rule of the emperor." So, all good stuff.
No, but instead he's under control of the dragon.
Exactly, which obviously his arc's going to be to break away from that because he realizes that he's just being controlled by someone else.
Right. So that's what I like. I like that Yang is creating these archetypes based off of heroes we know, but doing them with a nice like Asian mythology bent or Asian cultural bent.
Yeah.
Just like Superman with the the different triads controlling his powers and whatnot. It's a fun take on the character.
Yeah. Question is how does Superman snap out of his all Yang transformation?
Yeah. We'll have to see. I think Avery does something. I think that operates that'll get him to rebalance because he's off balance right now.
Yeah, maybe she'll kiss him. Maybe that'll be like their first spark.
Yeah.
And hopefully Ming Ming doesn't see it. It'll be hell to pay. But no, Superman's consistently a solid, great book every month. I'll be sad if it goes because there's the solicit for issue 24 in June was sounded a wee bit
ominous,
finite, shall we say? But hopefully not. Hopefully it keeps going because it's a great own little pocket of the DCU that is consistently pretty fun. Likeable characters.
We got Lanterns, a Flash. Out of all this is great.
No, this is one of those obviously I've not been reading for a while, but I'm really glad it exists and is getting a really quite healthy run. Like, even if it is 25 is the last issue, that's not bad for this sort of book, which by rights I would have expected to be done after 12.
Remember when we first heard about it, we're like, what is going on with that? Like, why did they choose to do that? And now it's one of my Pete's books every month.
Yeah, I remember when we thought it might be Lex Luthor's book.
Yeah?
Because we didn't know it was a Chinese Superman yet, and we thought, new Superman, is that Lex Luthor with the S on his chest? Is that what that's going to be? Man.
Before that, they were just calling it The Superman, weren't they?
That's right, it was called This Superman. That's right, they changed it.
And they changed to New Superman when it was revealed Yang. So...
Yeah.
I think we get nostalgic about the start of the show. All the way back to the Rebirth reveal.
We're getting in the spirit a bit early, aren't we?
Yeah. Episode 100 next week, guys. Look forward to it. Anyway, next up, Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps number 42. Robert Venditti writing, Ethan Van Sciver on the art. So you guys read this.
I read this one. That makes a change.
Yeah, good job, Connor.
I know. Feels weird this week. I've only read like half.
This is the first time that Venditti, since he's been writing, I felt like he's channeling Johns, but in the best way. Not like he's copying him, but this felt like an issue from the Johns. It's not just the Van Sciver art.
It's the way he does the Johns thing of, okay, let's take something that's been done and reinvent it, and do the new version.
And even have it go like, I've been seeing this for a while. I love that in comics when something that's seeming just to push the story forward actually ties into a later story.
Yeah. So this is we're starting on the end of the run now. We're getting the Dark Stars, the stuff that we've been teasing for a couple of arcs now, I think.
The controllers, at least since the controllers tried to corrupt all the Guardians, and we got the Guardians back.
Yeah, that was a few arcs ago now, though, I think.
Oh, well, yeah, one or two. It doesn't matter. Either way, we get the controllers saying that they're not going to build the Green Lantern Corps because the Green Lantern Corps have too much autonomy. So they've created these Dark Star helms, and they're kind of like Space Omax, right? Like,
yeah, it seems to be, and because from what I understand, the Dark Stars were stuff in the night. I've not read any of this stuff personally. Yeah. It was when Kyle Rayner came in, and he was on his own. Green Lantern Corps was disbanded, and I believe John Stewart was a Dark Star because he defected over because they were the ones that kind of stepped in to police the galaxy.
Well, that makes more sense because they're all about control, and that was after he'd killed that planet. Yeah. So. Yeah.
So that's like that stuff there, but and some of it seems to be referenced here because the controllers talk about, hey, we tried this before, but we gave them too much free will. We kind of got to do this, rein them in and have the suit do the control essentially. Yeah. So very OMAC, like you were saying.
Yeah. And we also get more of Hal trying to mentor what's her name?
She's
the Zudarian. She's a kid.
Yeah.
But she goes down and visits Tomar too, and a lot because to her he's still a hero. Like he might have killed the Sinestro Corps version, but he feels justified in what he did. And he tells her, don't cry for me. I've realized here, being in the science cells, I did the right thing. I belong in here. And
Somar Lee.
And Hal comes in to talk to Tomar Ray or Tomar Rue. Wait, I'm getting all the names going to.
Tomar 2.
Tomar 2. There we go. Yeah. Those damn Zarian names. One after another, they all just confused. But he goes to talk to him, and he basically says what he told Somar about, no, I did the right thing, and then in comes this Dark Star suit that's been activated. It's the first one.
Yeah, he talks about how he feels guilty of all these things that he's done, and he understands that okay, maybe I shouldn't have done this in the name of a Green Lantern. I did dishonor that name, but I still would if you gave it me again now, I'd still kill him because that was justice. It's what he deserved.
Exactly, and so that puts it in a rock and a hard place with the Green Lantern Corps because. We can't be out murdering people. Like, we're still upholded by laws in the system.
But interestingly, it's something that was teased. I don't know if it was in the last issue or slightly before. It was John and Hal were talking at the end of the issue and going, "Hey, they keep breaking out. What if we killed them? What if that was there was a permanent solution?" Yeah,
with Zod. I was like, well, we're gonna have to put him down at some point. Is it now or later?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like this has been being questioned before it comes to it here. But like you say, the Dark Star suit kind of just shows up and it's like, it does the equivalent of the Green Lantern ring. It's like you have been deemed worthy, and just takes him and it's like breaks him out essentially. It just teleports out,
and it adjusts to his body because the Zudarians have that weird beak and fin on the head, and I'm watching it go around and I was like, well, that's not going to fit in that helm. And then it adapts to his physiology, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah.
Because it's more than just the ring that creates the suit. It's the suit that forms itself.
Yeah, because it actually it comes fully formed as we saw it all there, and then it kind of comes apart and goes around him. But when it comes onto him, then it's in the new shape, like you said. Yep. And it's a really nice design.
It is, and so. And right before it came to him, it broke free from the controllers, and it's not.
Yeah, it turned itself on. They didn't activate it.
Nope. So, so the fact that we know this one's called Dark Stars, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, there's a fantastic panel, which I think is the title page of just the lineup of the Dark Star suits, just in silhouette, and it looks fantastic.
They remind me of the battle droids in episode 1.
Yeah, you're right.
Up,
I can see it. Yeah.
But I mean, they're like a formidable army. They're not controlled by any light, it looks like. It's all psionic force from what the controllers are saying. So
no, I'm really looking forward to it. And then at the end, basically, Hal, messages John. Is like, hey, so this thing just came up, and Tamatu just escaped. And it's like, okay, well, I don't recognize this thing. I've never seen this thing before, but it said a word that we both know, Dark Stars. And John looks very concerned.
Yep. So up until you had said about him, I didn't know he was in the Dark Stars.
Yeah, I think it was while he was in the Dark Star suit that his legs got crippled. When he ended up in the wheelchair for a bit. I think it was around that point.
Yeah, because that's my blind point when it comes to Green Lanterns. Yeah. So I'm big on how Kyle is such a blind spot in his run. So which I should rectify. I'm sure there's.
No, I only saw this because I saw people tweeting about how this was Venditti finally respecting what had come before, which is something he's kind of been very wishy-washy with in his run up till now. And this is the first time it feels like he's doing the Jonesian thing, or very, very Morrison as well. It's like, okay, this happened in some version, and we're going to play with that because, like I say here, this clearly they have a history with Dark Stars in some capacity. So I'm looking forward to it now, though. The at the end of this run.
Yeah, it should be good. I mean, we got that tease in Metal that the Dark Stars are coming, so we'll see what type of world that leaves us in with when Venditti's gone.
All right, cool. I suppose that'll take us on to Sideways number 3. Only me that read this one. I'm sticking with it. I'm being give it a proper chance. Dan Didio and Justin Jordan writing, Kenneth Rocafort on the art. And this, if you remember, at the end of the last issue, it ended with this new villain, Killspeed, showing up at the hospital, and he ended up going out to confront her. The majority of this issue is kind of him fighting her, but there's a lot of fun stuff. This one's more than anything else. I think this one actually kind of shows all the possibilities with his powers, because she's a danger to everyone in the hospital. So he makes a rift and pushes her through it. And then goes outside himself, and she's like, "Oh, that's weird. Like, what the hell did you just do to me?" And then she speeds off, and he's like, "Oh, I can't see her. You know what I'm going to do?" He starts making rifts for different streets in the city, multiples, and he looks through them, almost like security cameras, so he can see. And he's looking for her, and he finds her in one. He's like, "Okay, right, I'm going there," and he jumps through. So it sets up some of the different things that he can do with the powers. And then later on, he actually she actually gets a bus going towards him, and he opens a rift, try to big enough for the bus, and it doesn't quite work, and it only sort of it's the middle of the bus it would do, and the bus just kind of snaps in half around the rift. Basically, this is how he learns that the edge of his rift is undestructible, or it's super hard. It's something that'll block anything. So he actually uses that at one point. He opens a little rift sort of horizontally on the ground at one point to trip her up. So it's kind of teaching how he can actually use his powers in different ways. That make things work, and most of it makes sense for the most part. There's also a really brutal bit at the end where he sort of beat her, and the cops show up and they want to arrest him as well, and he's like, "Oh, screw this, I'm going to rift out of here." And he riffs out, and she grabs onto him, and he's like, "That's sorry, I'm going," and he closes the rift, and he sort of lands in a park somewhere, and he's like, "Oh, thank God for that, I got away. Don't know what happened to her." And then he looks over to his side, and her arms cut off because he closed the rift while she was grabbed onto him, and her arms just lying there. And I'm like, "Damn, that's dark." So that gave me a proper chuckle. I was not expecting
Of course it did.
The amputated arm. The actual villain herself, she's just actually ties into Flash a little bit, because the reason why she has her powers is because she was in Central City during the Speed Force storm, and she's got this unique problem where she had cancer, and whenever she uses her speed, it actually spreads her cancer faster. So she's actually killing herself by using her powers.
Huh. So totally not familiar to Jason Aaron's store at all.
No, I get what you're saying with that, but I do think this actually makes a sense, a logical sense. The idea that, okay, so when they use their speed, all the metabolism, everything speeds up, all the body processes speed up. So of course, the growth of cells is going to speed up as well.
Yeah, that's what she says. With the metabolism, my cancer spreads faster. Yeah. Because she talks about how she used her speed to try and get money because she couldn't afford the medical bills, but doing so is actually killing her. So she's actually
it's making the medical bills cost more. It's a vicious cycle.
That's what makes her name Kill Speed. make more sense.
Yeah, she actually says she chose that name almost as a sort of dark joke,
ironic thing.
Yeah.
So this book sounds like what I wanted Blue Beetle to be. Weirdly.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of the other characters in this one, which is a shame because I quite like his best friend who helps him out and stuff. But they're kind of knocked out in the hospital while he goes off and fights the villain. But he gets back at the end, and it sets up some other stuff where his mother's been trying to get him this internship at this big project thing, and we see her on the phone as she's leaving the hospital. And this other person's like, oh, yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I think he's just a kid for us. But we see her on the other end, and she's watching footage of him after he went through the rift with the arm getting cut off. So she's shady. This company that he's going to intern for are actually, presumably evil and want to, use him for something. Possibly experiment on him or whatever. So they're setting up some sort of villains that are actually going to be a thing going forward. And that's pretty cool. What is interesting though is this book bizarrely had a 3-page thing at the end. It was like in classic comic books you'd get the origin of the Batman. It'd be like a 2-page origin just explaining who he is. There's that at the end. It's weird. Where it's him narrating. He's like, hey, I'm sideways, and he sort of speaks to the camera as it were. He's like, hey, you may not know who I am, and he sort of like, oh, this happens. I was in Gotham when the mountain was there, and all the dark Batmen were around, and all this and this, and then my friend Ernie, she made me my outfit, and my mum's always worried, and that's me. Thanks, guys. And he leaves. It's weird. I don't know why it's in this.
I think it should be at the start of the issue, not the end. But
yeah.
Well, are they thinking people are picking it up in the 3rd issue without the first ones? Because that's only 3 issues old.
Yeah, it's strange. I wonder if it's here, but it's actually been written so they can put this out as a preview in general.
Right.
Most likely.
Yeah, I have to imagine it is, to just explain the concept. And it was fine. It was kind of weird though. I was like, okay, there was nothing wrong with these pages. They look great. It's still the same artist.
Why are they here in this issue?
Yeah, it's the same, sound for the characters. The voices all sound right. And I'm just kind of like, but this is bizarre because I've not forgotten any of this because it's only issue 3.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what the point of that was, but no, I dig it. I'm still digging it. And if anything, I'm starting to dig it slightly more.
Okay.
I'm not in love with it yet, but the trend that's going on is definitely aiming in the right direction, as opposed to feeling more fatigued with it each time. So I will check out issue 4. I will report back with my findings. But hey, like I say, cutting off some limbs through these rifts is one way to sell me the potential of this character. So
That's funny.
I'm into it, is what I'm saying. That'll take us on to the new issue, the new number 1 from this new Age of Heroes, though, and that is the Immortal Men by James Tynion IV and Jim Lee.
And Ryan Benjamin.
And Ryan, wait, didn't even finish the first issue?
No.
Come on, Jim.
Hey, he has
Did
got
you not
publisher
see
work
this?
to do.
Damn it, Jim! You're an artist, not a publisher.
Very good. But I thought it was particularly amusing that, this is the artist line, and, we get not even an issue out of this one. The others are getting 3 issues, and that's a bit sketchy as it is.
That said, you could tell he designed the characters. Because they're very good.
Sure, yeah, you could. Probably my favourite thing about the issue is the design of the Immortal Men. Specifically the two, the one that looks very Moon Knight, and then the one who's got the hat and the mask. He's very pulpy looking.
Yes, he is.
I like his look.
I also like Timber, because she looks like a Native American warrior. That's cool. That meshes well.
I love the mythology of this book. I don't know if I love reading it, but I love the world that it starts.
You take the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. Yeah, because the whole thing is you've got a secret. What was it called? The campus. That secret underground place where the Immortals have been. Yeah, and our main character, I don't even remember his name. Who's the dude in this? The kid who's having the dreams.
Into the sea, I think.
Yeah, starts with a C.
Left an impression. Caden, there you go. So he's having these dreams. He's in therapy. He's convinced that he has kind of a superpower where he kind of gets flashes of what people have been doing. It's kind of Unbreakable-esque. And the therapist's like, nah. This is all fantasy, and you're making this up to make yourself feel like you're important. And he ends up he's been having visions of this man, this dude who he thinks was related to this campus place. And the campus itself, all the Immortals are killed by the villains of the book, who are very overly designed. The Batman who laughs is kicking around as well. Just
yeah.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming, but I love how they talk about the different houses of the Immortals. Like, there's different tiers of them, and they're all in these groups. I'm like, this is the stuff I'm really digging.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's okay. What I really liked about it is I really liked the idea of them, like, so these final four who are still alive, who come up to try and save Caden, because they've sent the monsters after him, and they come to rescue him, and they actually come up through the subway, and they all kind of appear in there, and that was when I started to get into the book a bit. Like, when they started to come into the actual, mainland, I was like, okay, right, I'm starting to get a vibe of maybe what this book's supposed to be. And presumably Caden's going to have to learn about all this stuff and sort of accept it and become one of them.
Yeah, because the whole idea is he is a potential to be one of the Immortals.
Yeah. And that's why the campus is calling to him in his dreams, and that's what he's talking to his... Like, he can look out into people and see, like, spots, but it's nothing important. It's not like the Dead Zone, where he looks out and see the point that they die. They're just kind of doing regular...
Just something from their recent history.
Yeah. So whatever that means, that's whatever his power is. It's very X-Men in that way, where you feel like he hasn't activated his mutant gene yet.
Yeah, because he touches the therapist, when she's like, yeah, touch me, you'll see if anything happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just her with a bong.
Yeah, and he feels too awkward to actually tell her what he saw.
Yeah, but it's just really just normal moment.
I love how
her with a bong watching TV.
I love how he mentions that he sees his mother reading Stephen King books, and I'm like, man, that is so risky. I would avoid ever making contact with my mother just in case I see something I really don't want to see.
Yeah.
So, that's the dangers of this.
Just instantly throw up.
Yeah. So, this is weird, because I didn't love the issue, but I do kind of like a lot of the ideas that it kind of gets to by the time we get to the end.
Yeah, it's kind of a clunky read. It's really clunky. Wordy, a lot of narration boxes, but... so it's like a weird... to actually say I enjoyed reading it is probably not true, but all the actual ideas, the elements that it's playing with, the mythology, is like, I'm really feeling this.
See, I like when Tynion plays with mythology. It's the stuff that I've loved in tech. It's what I loved him working with Snyder in the New 52 Batman stuff. Like, Court of Owls and all that. It feels very Court of Owls almost. Like, if they make an appearance, I would not be surprised, considering...
I'm with you. This secret society, changing history.
Well, I mean, we already know that they have to do with the dark side of things from metal. And this cover made it, when you open it up and they have the I don't know if they were variants or what, because I got this digitally. My shop didn't get very many of these.
I assume these are variants, yeah.
Yeah, but they're very heavily tied into metal. Like, you have Hawkman and Roz and Vandal Savage... on the cover with Ghost Fist, is the guy Pete was talking about, that's very pulpy, which that's just a dope name. And then you also have one where it looks like the dragon, but this guy that's the Hunt, who's very Craven the Hunter-esque.
Yeah, he's one of the main villains who's wiped out all the Immortals.
Him and it was an Infinite Lady?
Yeah,
the
Infinite Woman, maybe.
Infinite Woman?
Yeah, who's the sister of Immortal Man. Like, some of these names need work, guys. Like,
Yeah.
That said, though, there's a very much of an X-Men kind of vibe, or even who they tried to replace the X-Men with? Inhumans. Almost one of those kind of deals.
It kind of feels like, this is the team coming from Xavier's mansion to rescue the new kids, and it's got that kind of vibe to it.
So I'll check out the second issue and see where it goes, but other than that, I'm not very... this is one of the ones I was most excited for, and it was super disappointed. So far, the Terrifics is the only one that really delivered.
Yeah, I mean, Terrifics and Silencer, but then for this, I think what I would really want, even if I don't keep reading this, I'll definitely read issue 2, but even if after that I don't, it's the sort of thing that I want to go and read the wiki page of. Like, and see all the stuff that he's come up with.
The praise. I might go read the wiki page later.
No, but that's the thing, because the mythology, I want to know the history of all this stuff that he's building.
That's what I was drawn to in Metal, where they talked about the Bird Clan and the Bear Clan and the Wolf Clan. I want to see what makes those up. That was cool.
That's what I mean by I want the wiki page. I want those things, but I'm not sure I necessarily want the story that he's telling.
I do want more Ghost Fist, though. That dude's dope. He's like the Shadow, but...
the Shadow meets the Question.
Yeah.
I can see that comparison.
But with a little Iron Fist thrown in there, because he's, he can...
Yeah.
He's got a mystical nature to him.
Don't say
let's
Iron
not drag
Fist.
him down.
Yeah. I just...
Don't base off the show. Iron Fist is a fine character in the comics.
I don't. He's
He's
solid for life. I can't look at him now without thinking of that show. And
That
I'm
pisses
Danny
me off so
Rand.
much.
I'm the immortal Iron Fist. I'm the protector of Kunlun, sworn enemy of the Hand.
You realize that that's like somebody watching Gotham and going, I've been ruined for Batman."
I'm not gonna lie. Peter's impression then made me realize I want Tammy Wiseau to do Iron Fist.
I'm
God,
Iron Fist. I'm sworn enemy of the Hand.
That would make it so
great
much
as the
better.
Thunderer, or the Wootie. Wootie? I can't. I've put it all out. Anyways. Yeah, Immortal Man. Can't wait to read the wiki. Connor Ryan.
Connor Ryan,
That's a quote for
2018.
the cover if ever there was one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, I'll read issue 2. I'm curious enough to see if it smooths out
Yeah.
in an issue or two.
Challengers isn't good. I'm gonna be so sad.
But right now, this is like 4th for me in this line. Terrific's been number 1, Silencer number 2, and Sideways number 3.
Okay,
I think I preferred this over Sideways. This did more for me in terms of just it got me excited about things. Whereas Sideways is probably a better issue in terms of storytelling from the one that I read compared to the one to this. But this has me more excited.
This is messier. I feel like I've got less of a footing on
yeah.
just the characters and the tone and what it's doing. Yeah. So
still better than Damage.
Sure.
Oh come on! You got more out of this than you do out of that first issue of Damage. That's just an action sequence. At least this has.
Yeah, it was a well drawn action sequence. It didn't piss me off. Like it was fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was fine. Damage is okay. It's just, I didn't like it enough to keep reading it because I was like, there's going to be more of this. It's fine. But don't know. Brimstone being the weakest so far, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
This is the problem. None of them are actually outright bad. This is the weird thing. None of them are actually terrible. They're all. There's a lot of them that are just in this really middle place.
No, it's true. It's kind of a weird line. And overall, it's been disappointing. There's been a couple of bright spots, but overall, it's not really lived up to the potential.
But hey, we'll see issue 2, I guess, next month. Which does take us on to the final book of the week, and it's Connor flying solo because it's Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 17. Scott Lobdell and Dexter.
Tell us how it pissed you off this time.
You know what the worst part is? I thought we were done, and I was ready to wrap up. I forgot about this.
Wait, you did it to yourself though. So.
All right. First thing that pissed me off is the cover's awful. I don't know what's going on with Bizarro's face on the cover.
So what issue is this? It's Red Hood and the Outlaws. What?
17.
Oh man.
It's got a really nice variant though. It doesn't say that much, but I don't know who that variant was, but it was nice.
So what happened in the book this time?
This is the team up with the Suicide Squad where.
I'm out.
Yeah, basically they go to the Arctic, which was where they ended last issue. There's some old Harvest base that they want to go in and get stuff from. And they basically, Bizarro splits them up into teams. So we basically just have them go off in pairs or trios to go and do a little side mission in the base. So you get Jason and Croc, Artemis and Harley, and then Deadshot, Boomerang with Bizarro. They're really irritating. I don't know what it is about this, but the Suicide Squad literally just complains the whole book. And they try to make it funny because they have the Outlaws address that they're just complaining about things. But that doesn't make it less annoying that they're just complaining about things.
So basically you're in the Suicide Squad.
I don't know, but they're just going, Croc's going, always the sewers. I swear, we'll come to the Arctic, I'm in the sewers. If they sent me to space, there'd still be a sewer. And it's like, okay, that would maybe be funny if you hadn't just spent the last 6 pages complaining about being in the Arctic and that it's cold and who cares? I don't know. I don't know. It bothers me that they address it like it's supposed to be funny because it's just not. It's really grating.
Sounds hilarious to me. I don't know what Connor's talking about.
Yeah, you would think it is. You have to read the damn thing. But no, you got Croc and Jason bonding over their friendship, their joint friendship with Roy. And Croc being like, "Hey, you're friends with Roy, and if you were really as bad as you pretend to be, Roy wouldn't be friends with you. So stopped pretending to be such a badass. And
Croc tells him this?
yeah,
That's weird.
yeah,
This is a weird heart-to-heart to be having. Is Croc?
I could see Harley having that, considering she used to be a therapist. You know?
yeah. No. This is Croc and Jason wandering through the sewers, having this conversation.
Who's Bizarro teamed up with?
Deadshot and Boomerang.
God.
Honestly, theirs is kind of the least interesting team up because they get to the room where their mission is, and Bizarro's like, "Hey, you guys need to do this bit because once you do this, there's kryptonite in there that'll affect me. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go and leave. I'll come back when you're done." And so you don't really get much of their team up like the others. They kind of just do their own thing. It's like, okay, this is just Suicide Squad now. If I wanted that, I'd, read Suicide Squad.
Right.
You say that as if you wanted to read this.
I know, but I'm just saying, objectively, that is the point of this issue, right, is to show the team up. And if I'm not really getting the team up, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming I was a fan of this, that would be the purpose of the issue.
So the next Connor's Corner person who signs up has to make you read Suicide Squad. That's what we're learning here.
Please don't. Oh, boy. But Artemis and Harley Quinn, they go off and just try not to kill each other. Harley threatens her with a mallet a few times, and Artemis, holds her up by her throat a bit, and Harley seems to enjoy it because
she does.
Yeah. Basically they complete the mission. They go back, and Waller's like, "Yeah, I'm not babysitting you guys. Piss off. Go back to Gotham. You're not my problem." And then they just go back and we're like, "Yeah, okay, that's it." And they're like, "Yeah, Bizarro seems to be all grown up." And then the final page is him just standing there looking evil as shit. And that's it. It as a team up issue, it didn't really accomplish much because, as I said, they're really fragmented into the things that are there anyway. And Harley and Artemis is what we got last issue anyway, in the jail cells. So I was like, well, I already saw that. Jason and Croc is kind of like they're both from Gotham anyway, so it's like, okay, fine. And then in terms of the Bizarro, Deadshot, and Boomerang, it didn't actually have much team up, so it kind of failed as a team up issue. It just objected, not even as a bad issue of Red Hood, just as what it's supposed to be, even for people who like this series. I don't think it delivers on that. So this is even worse than usual. This is beyond just me not liking it. This is actually objectively bad. And
damn, that's praise right there.
Look forward to issue 18 review next month.
Yeah, I know. At least it's probably Dexter Soy again.
So that was good, though, is what you're saying.
Yeah, nothing stand out this issue though. Like, there's not really a lot for him to do. It's kind of just walking around and talking. There's not a lot of action sequences for him to really show off with. It looks good though, as always, but
the sewers looking good because apparently there's a lot of sewers in this.
Yeah,
it's always a sewer.
Yeah, I am impressed with Soy's ability to always be consistent on time. He always turns in a great looking book every month reliably. It's not very often he skips anything, so praise where it's due.
All right, well, I guess that wraps up Connor's Corner for the month.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
God.
Which will take us on to picking our favourite stuff of the week. We always end the show with picking our favourite panel/moment, our favourite cover, our favourite art, and our top 5 books of the week. Although in Connor's case, that's going to be quite a challenge. So we will start off with best panel/moment of the week, and I'll just jump in here quickly because it's going to be Flash and it's going to be the double page spread. Alone. Yeah, the running.
We run together.
Run together, yeah. I almost wanted a joke caption there saying "We are the Flash," but hey, I'll take what I can get. You've been catching up in Flash, Matt. You've got to that line. You're familiar with Iris saying the thing.
Yeah. If not, it was definitely thanks to social media.
Yeah.
That became.
Yeah. Honestly, there was I don't know if you've got to the episode yet, but there was a power swap episode where Iris gets his powers. That classic.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten that far yet. I think that's the next one.
Right, and my only disappointment in that episode, or my biggest disappointment in that episode, was that at no point did Barry say to Iris, "We are the Flash." That is my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we run together, Flash. Matt, what's your panel / moment?
Mine's the same. I can't deny it because I don't know how much I love the Flash.
I feel like Matt's slacking again, but just picking mine. But Connor,
No.
So the problem is I was going to pick that one as well, but we can't all just pick the same thing.
Yeah.
So
no, you can't. You have to pick something else, Matt. Let him think.
Look, that's well represented already. So I'll pick another panel from Flash just earlier on. One of Barry just beating on Grodd. I think it looks fantastic, and I had fun with that panel.
All right. Although
in my heart, we're together. That is clearly the superior.
That is, shout out to the sideways panel of the arm, like realizing the arm's cut off and lying next to him. Gold. I'm sorry, Matt. Are you getting sleepy? Are you tired?
I am. I had a rough night. I didn't get much sleep. Woke up, went to the gym. Yeah.
Having nightmares have been hung off a building by his feet.
No. It's the new local hockey team going deep into overtime in the playoffs and staying up to watch because you can't miss it. Go Knights, go!
I'll pretend I understood that. So we will move on then to best cover of the week. Connor, what you got?
Oh, this is a tough one. There's some really great covers. I'll leave the Wonder Woman one for Matt because obviously he's going to mention that. But I mean, you've got the Supergirl variant, which is obviously they've been excellent throughout. Mm-hmm. But you have a real nice one for Hal and Pals with Hal making the Superman logo from the ring.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately I'm gonna go with the detective variant, the Albuquerque, the Batman Superman one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Image.
Yeah.
So that does remind me of something we didn't talk about at the start in the news. Is they're getting rid of the logos for the variants to showcase the art.
I don't like that.
It never even occurred to me to talk about it because
Image calls that doing virgin covers, and I don't like them.
I'll be honest, my OCD thinks it's weird. I think I'd be annoyed. I'd be put off buying the variants if all my other covers had the big logo on top.
Unless I'm buying it just to frame it, then yeah.
Yeah, as someone who likes framing variants, I like this.
Yeah, so I think it's fine. It's nice they're trying something different. Obviously, they're showing off the art, which is cool. But I don't know. Some my OCD is just kind of like, no, I like the big title logo at the top.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just me. But hey, Matt, what's your cover?
Well, mine's Wonder Woman variant. Jenny Frisian. It's with Superman. Wonder Woman. It looks great. What it does with the blues and reds and golds, it's fantastic.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. No, I actually go with the Supergirl variant. The last Art Jump cover. Well, kind of the last one, because he actually did a variant for Action 1000, which has Supergirl on it. So there's kind of like a... It's almost like they gave him the one, oh, you do Supergirl with Superman in that cover. And it's kind of like a nice sequel to his variants from this, but...
it's funny, because Superman's just in the background on this one, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
He's just kind of flying off in the corner.
Kira's still the focal point.
Yeah, she's wearing her 2000s outfit in this one, because he's been doing all the different outfits with each one.
I will say the way the sun shines through is just downright gorgeous on this one, though.
Yep.
All right, so best art of the week then. I mean, theoretically there's some competition from a couple of things, but I'm just going to jump in right away and say Giandomenico on Flash.
Yeah.
Van Sciver puts up a good fight, but Giandomenico takes it.
I would love to give it to Lupacchino, but the fact that I don't like that book so much, I can't. And so it has to be Giandomenico.
Oh, the hatred. All right, it's clean sweep then for old Carmine.
Yeah.
All right, so top 5 books of the week. So, Connor, I'm fascinated by how this is going to go.
I can do a top 4.
Because you only had 4 books this week. Well, no. Red Hood just takes the 5th slot by default.
No, it doesn't count. That never counts.
Does this week?
No, it doesn't. Red Hood is not going in the top 5.
It only doesn't count if you have 6.
Right. Okay. I'll find a way out.
Over his face.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, screw you.
I've got tracking technology.
Called a mouse cursor.
Oh, you dick.
All right. What's
So
your...
my top 5: Flash, Hallam Pals, Detective, Immortal Men. That's my top 4. And if you really want a 5th issue, what did I not read? I can't give it to Wonder Woman. That's meant to be awful. I can't give it to Supergirl. That was meant to be pretty bad. New Superman. New Superman and the Justice League of China can have my number 5 slot because it got so much praise. It deserves it.
Jesus. Matt, what's your top 5?
So my number 1 is The Flash. Number 2 is Detective. 3 is New Superman. 4 is Hallam Pals. And 5, this is rough. Well, it's not that rough. Supergirl's number 5 because it was a mess, but at least there was bookended with some good things. Yeah. Plus Lauren.
So my number 1's Flash. Number 2 is Detective. Number 3 is New Superman. Look at that, I'm matching Matt so far. However,
yeah, but you didn't need Hallam Pals, so.
Yeah, my number 4, however, I'll probably Sideways.
Decapitated arm. That's it. If your slasher fan comes out.
And then number 5 is, it's kind of weird. It's an odd week. I mean, I love Flash and really like Detective, and I really like New Superman, but there's definitely a few.
At least you have a 5th to pick one.
Yeah, but there's definitely a few weaker ones this week. I think in 5th place, I'll probably throw in Immortal Men.
Yeah,
I think so. Like, honestly, the weird character introduction just to set up unexpected annoyed me so much.
That bothered you more than the clunkiness of it.
Yeah, I can't give it to Supergirl, and I usually root for that series, but I can't do it this week. So,
so you know, next week how we're doing action on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we do when we get to the end of that, and you know how usually we do our best issue, best story from action. So then it doesn't have to be in contention for the main show for best books of the week because that's kind of unfair.
Yeah, there's plenty enough. I vote to agree because there's more than enough in the rest to make a top 5 that doesn't include action.
I have 0 objections.
Good.
Or thoughts on the matter. Okay. All right, that's this week's favorites. It's kind of weird. Like, I actually had fun this week, but it's actually kind of funny how split it is down the middle. I really liked half my books. There's a couple that are in the middle, and then I really disliked a couple other ones. It's bizarre.
The benefit to only having read 4 is I really like 3/4 of my books.
Alright, what's coming next week? Obviously, Action Comics 1000. That's getting its own special episode. You can look out for that earlier in the week than usual. And then our regular episode will be episode 100. We'll do a special thing as well. We're going to do another top 10 like we did. We did episode 52, so we'll do a top 10 coming at the end of that episode. But in terms of books in that episode next week, we have Batman 45, Superman 45, Justice League 43, Green Lanterns 45, Nightwing 43, Super Sons 15, Batwoman 14, Aquaman 35, Mr. Miracle number 8, and Batman Brave and the Bold, Batman and Wonder Woman number 3. There you go. Also out next week is Damage number 4 and Harley Quinn 42. But yeah, me and reading those, so that's fine.
Big week.
Big week, yeah. The stacking episode 100. Yeah, couldn't have given us a couple of those this week.
I will say it's really weird that we got action, so I'm really excited for that Superman side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Bizarro stuff in Superman where I'm going ugh on the same week.
Yeah, but that whole plan is destroyed and it's just Bizarro. So.
Yeah, isn't that arc done? Are we not done with the Bizarro stuff?
No, it says Bizarro re-death.
Finale. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So. I assumed that was the end of the arc, the last one. All right.
Nope, still more.
Okay, fair enough. Well, there you have it. That's what's coming next week. What a weird week it's been. Remember when week 2 used to always be the busiest week?
Yep.
And this was like a weird concoction week where things have moved and.
This kind of feels like the leftovers week, doesn't it?
This month it kind of does, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, so big stuff next week, and we're getting very, very close to all the new stuff coming with Man of Steel and No Justice and Batman getting married and all that jazz. So next week, Action Comics 1000 special standalone one-shot episode and episode 100 of the show, which we will celebrate by doing another top 10 as well in the episode. So you can look forward to that next week. Let us know what you thought of this week's books and stuff in the comments. Like and subscribe, all the usual stuff. Get us on patreon.com/MailFliesTV. There's a link in the description. If you want to support the channel, you can do it over there. If you want to support the show, you can do it over there. Obviously, there's the Connor's Corner. That's a bit more expensive. That's the $30 tier to make Connor read a book. But at the $5 tier, you get a bonus episode per month with me and Connor. And you get to occasionally vote in that as well. It's just, feel fuzzy about supporting. But of course, every $1 is appreciated. If you want to just throw us $1, that's cool too. But hey, so that is this. That's Comics from the Multiverse. This has been episode 99, a weird calm before the storm episode.
Kind of a shambles. Maybe we'll be more professional after 100. I don't know. Probably not.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
If you think I'm going to stop fantasizing about throwing you over a building, Connor, then you are gravely
I just want
mistaken.
to point out, we tangented off in the list of the the numbers. We went off on a whole thing during Wonder Woman, like that. I don't even know how we got to that. This was
I
kind
can
of.
tell you, James Robinson. That's how.
But both feet must touch Fit the Mascara. That's how we got to that. So.
Yeah.
So that has been episode 99. Hopefully this was entertaining, if nothing else. I'm not going to hold out hope for it, but I mean, people are still around listening to us for some reason.
Yeah, people have made it through 99 episodes of us for
Somehow.
of this.
Yeah, this is
Seek help.
Seek help, but don't seek help because we got big stuff coming. We got another. The next 100 is going to be super exciting. Promise. I've got a whole thing we're setting up where Connor's going to sit in a tank with sharks in it, and we're going to throw balls at the target to make him go in.
See, that sounds like it could be fun.
Jesus Christ, Matt! That yawn was like 12 seconds long.
Most sharks are docile, so unless you've chummed the waters, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, what can I put in the water then that'll definitely kill him?
Piranhas?
No, even piranhas need it chummed up because they only attack when there's blood in the water.
Fine.
Yeah, but
Crocodile. There's a crocodile in the water.
Crocodile will
that.
not hesitate. They will not hesitate.
Right, I'm glad we agree. God damn it, Matt, any stupid shark knowledge coming in to ruin my little fantasy. Alright.
Sorry.
That has been Comics from the Multiverse, episode 99. We will see you next week for Action 1000 and episode 100. Thank you very much once again for watching and listening. We always appreciate it. Keep reading comics, and always remember to never get lost in the Speed Force.